It's going to be about why failing is necessary. And I think it's one of the very important mental health topics. Most of us, I think all of us to a certain extent, are afraid of failing and, failing big time. But it's not about failing and staying there, but failing and being able to rise above it, learn on your own mistakes, and set yourself up for success. And without failing, actually, how it is even impossible to know what is the true success. So I'm just going to wait for viewers, for people to come in, and let's have a conversation about it. In the meantime, I'm going to set up the poll and see what will be the answers. Okay, so let's set the question in the right way. It's going to be yes and no question. Let's make it simple. Are you afraid of failing? Being considered. Okay, so the question is, are you afraid of failing / being considered a failure? It's a little bit rough question. It's going to be yes or no question. And I'm starting the poll. Hi guys. Howdy Kyla. Hope all of you are doing well. Let's talk a little bit, quite important topic today. And I already set up the question and I'm encouraging you to respond to it. Genuinely respond to it. In the meantime, you can look into the poll. I'm going to tell you what I have here. So this is this is protein coffee, basically just an instant coconut coffee with protein portion. And I also have fresh coconuts here, even two. So I stay hydrated, get my potassium in, and feel good and hydrated during the live stream. Hello. How are you doing? Okay, we have one vote, and let's see. Oh, someone says no, which is good. That's great. Glad to hear that you're doing well. Well, when it comes to the failing, guys, you can get at the point that you're not afraid of it, and there are certain reasons why. We're going to talk about it, how you actually should really feel about failing. But most of people I've really seen being afraid of it, and to the extent that they don't live their life fully. They never risk it. They never try certain things, and they rather choose to regret never trying for the rest of their lives. But as long as they don't feel like a failure, they don't look like a failure in the society's eyes. So I think it's quite important topic to address, and I'm encouraging you guys to respond to the question in the poll. I really want to see what is the majority of you thinking, how they feel. In the meantime, I can tell you about myself and my journey when it comes to the approaching the failures. Also, guys, encouraging you to be respectful in the chat. Otherwise, you're going to get hidden from the chat and from the channel. What don't you know? You're so wise and disciplined for someone from a post-Soviet state. Well, there's like a double standard regarding that. A lot of people think that like post-Soviet countries, they're like quite lazy, short-minded, living for survival. But for a lot of Western people, for example, post-Soviet people coming from the post-Soviet countries are actually quite disciplined for the same reason, because they have to survive, they have to adapt to the challenges, and they only rise above us by going through those challenges. So I think it's like a different sides of the same coin. You're from which country? I'm from Georgia. And in Georgia, there is quite a rough culture when it comes to judging and talking about someone else's failure. If you make a mistake, if something doesn't go well, people turn backs on you and they talk behind you. And I believe that a lot of things, like I'm coming from the environment where I had to challenge those things in my environment even. And when I was a kid, I was afraid of making mistakes. Not like my parents were not like those very strict, crazy parents. I would not say that. But I think it was just the pressure of the society and probably just me to myself. I just wanted to be perfect. I just wanted to do everything well, and there are certain things that I couldn't do well, and I literally would start crying and collapsing in tears. It reminds me of my relationship with the math. So when I was a kid, I was very talented when it comes to the art and a little bit of music at that point. So I was just flourishing gradually in those. And like in math, I'm talking about like second, third, fourth grade. Math was literally mean to me. And there was like a simple problem that I had to solve, and I couldn't. And I would just like dig my head in my hands, just would start silently crying and hoping that no one's gonna notice. But then the head teacher would come in, and then other kids would come in, and they would focus attention on me, and I would start crying even more. And I felt embarrassing, and I felt like a major failure. But I'll tell you my journey, where I got and how I got to the point that it became the best experiences, the best learning experiences, the best experiences that actually set me up for the further success in different aspects of my life. But I'll read the comments in the meantime. Have you ever been in Scotland? No, I haven't, but I wish I will one day. Do you love Mike Tyson? Yes, I definitely do. One of my all-time favorite boxer. I wouldn't change the fact that I'm from Georgia. If I could choose where I could be born again, I would choose Georgia, because I know exactly who I became coming from Georgia, being raised in that environment, and etc. No, it's the country in Caucasus. It's the same country as the Mirab and Ilya from, and many other Georgians in the mixed martial arts and other sports as well. Hello from Uzbekistan. Hi to Uzbekistan. Everything's good? Well, anyways, let's look at the poll. Let's see. Most of people, 53% say that they are afraid of failing, being considered a failure. So feel free to share your stories as well, your challenges when it comes to that feeling. How does it make you feel at the moment, and what was different before? Are you still feeling that way, or you managed to overcome that societal pressure, that self-reflected pressure, and started getting really the best out of it? Where are you from? I'm from Georgia, as I said. How are you doing, ma'am? I'm doing well, thank you. Okay, well, I'll continue with my story. Do you like the arts? Yes, you can see some of my live streams are live drawing, and I draw MMA fighters and boxers, and so far I drew John Jones and Ben Askren in the live stream, so you can look it up. Okay, Jasper says, the strongest lessons in life you will learn through failing, don't forget that. Yes, I absolutely agree. I'm glad that in the chat you start pointing it out yourself. Georgia like Kvaratskhelia, yes, a football player. It's actually fun. Georgia is such a small country. I have, with all of them, with Kvaratskhelia, with Merab, and with Ilya, I have like someone there. For example, with Kvaratskhelia, one of my closest friends, she's a girl, used to be his classmate. So yeah, they just basically been raised together at school with Kvaratskhelia. When it comes to Merab, we have quite a lot of common friends in the MMA field. And with Ilya, well, I didn't expect that coming up. I thought, well, because he didn't live that long in Georgia, and he moved to Alicante and pretty much being in Spain. I remember I was telling one of my other close friends about that my YouTube is growing, and she was like, and she knows some celebrities in Georgia and a part of it. And she's like, do you want me to link up you with some celebrities? And I was like, no, thank you, no Georgian celebrities. I'd rather stay unknown in Georgia, all of that kind of stuff. And she said, well, do you want me to link you up with Ilya Tapuria? And I was like, oh, how do you imagine that? And she's like, oh, like my another bestie is his cousin. It's like, of course, like we're such a small country. There is like someone knows someone. That's always the case. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate all of your kind words. But anyways, let me just say this. My journey from challenging that fear of failing and actually maybe not doing some things, like there were certain things that I wouldn't try in my childhood, maybe some games, maybe go out socialize too much, because I was quite a socially awkward kid, and that would definitely affect my life. But essentially at some age, at some point, and that happens to many kids, I wanted to become strong. That became my ultimate goal, to be resilient, to be strong, to be able to endure life. I don't know where that came from, but I don't remember my parents exactly telling me that you gotta be strong. No, it just came out, it just appeared all of a sudden from somewhere. And one of the parts of it, one of the aspects of it, is to accept your flaws, your mistakes, your failing, and learn out of it. Get the best, as the Jasper said, get the best life lessons out of it, and actually find ways how to evolve. Obviously, you wouldn't want to repeat the same pattern over and over and over again. Doesn't matter whether you practice something and you try to get better at it, or it's just your relationships and your decisions in life. The key aspect is the reason why you should take failure as and loss as the as learning experience is also to avoid repeating it over and over and over again future down the line. Howdy. Yeah, there are quite some Texans watching my life sometimes. Me and my husband love Texas. Which country are you from? I'm from Georgia, the country, and currently I'm in Vietnam, Nha Trang. Good morning to you. When people say good morning, I already know that it's the overseas. Have you visited the Philippines? Actually, yes. Apart from Vietnam, staying quite a few months here in Vietnam together with my husband, we flew to Philippines to visit his father. He lived there at the time, and we've been in Manila, and we stayed in Manila, Makati. Manila is massive, so Makati is like a city within the city, and it was a very interesting experience. I also watched Pacquiao fight. Winners never quit and quitters never win. That's another Rocher or Rocher. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, sorry. But, well, it's bad that you retracted it because it was a very good message. You definitely, winners never quit and quitters never win. It's better, like I want you to understand, guys, if you're watching now and you feel that you failed, that it's like you're embarrassed yourself, it's awkward, all of that kind of stuff, it's better to fail and raise up and get better at it and at least try, at the very least, rather than never trying it and stay in that fear for the rest of your life. If you're gonna make that choice, just choose first one. Hello from Germany, hi. Hawaii, hi everyone. Texas, Los Angeles, California. You know Merab Valishvili. Not personally, but I believe like he might, I mean, that's a little bit loud thing to say. There is a chance he knows about me because I also, when he won his UFC bantamweight championship against O'Malley, I talked to a common friend. You make the drawing of him, like you can check out in the shorts in my channel. So I made that video, and yeah. Anyways, I talked to him. He liked it, so I think he was warned. And Georgia is a small community, and within each other we're quite, how to say that? Like Georgians acknowledge Georgians in a good way. And it depends sometimes. Like I'm not trying to, how to say that? I never wanted to do it the way that, I'm a fellow Georgian, help me out with things or borrow me money, or like some Georgians definitely did, and like we were really, that was a very funny situation. But yeah, I mean, if you're doing well and if you meet somewhere out there and you say you're Georgian, Georgians always going to be acknowledging you, like, oh, because there's so few of us, they're always going to say hi, they're always going to ask you where you're from in Georgia, how's your family, all that kind of stuff. Hello from France, hi. 10 out of 10, the makeup. Well, it's not that much makeup. There is no skin. I have permanent makeup in my eyebrows. I have a little bit brown pencil on my eyelids and just a lipstick. So it's just simple. That's why it's a 10 out of 10. And a good lighting, guys. Good lighting always makes miracles. Hi, Rebecca. Yeah, a Frosty Cupcake is the moderator and says, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, please, if you're willing to. Yeah, Brian C., thank you for showing support for this channel. Thank you very much for saying that. Are you married? Yes, I'm married. Okay, we keep scrolling up, guys. There's quite a lot of engagement. Georgia in my mind. Georgia, Georgia. Mm, that sweet old song. Georgia, on my mind. By the way, there's going to be another live stream from karaoke night in the Red Buffalo here in Vietnam, Nha Trang, and you can join for that one too. I like to do calisthenics. Calisthenics is great. Yeah, she's married, guys. Please keep the chat clean. Absolutely, thank you. Do you also like to do calisthenics? Well, I do a lot of, I train upper body. Right now I'm doing pull-ups, doing some rope climbing with the hands. So I'm trying to reach the top of the ceiling. That's my goal so far. But I always keep it simple. I usually use a handful of exercises and I just do that consistently with the right periods of rest in between. All combined with the VO2 max training, which I added recently, and obviously boxing, heavy back, and shadow boxing and footwork training, etc. And some sprinting, which I'm going to do more once we go to Kuwait. I hope there's going to be a track for it, and in Georgia as well. Like in Georgia, I have access to pretty much all I need. What do you think about India? I think it's a very interesting country. Anyways, guys, your arm tattoo. Here's my arm tattoo. So it's a dragon. It's a girl's face in profile, and it is katana. Just because my tattoo master said that it would look cool. Guys, now I'm not gonna do any push-ups. I'll do it in the next stream when it's gonna be a training stream in the gym. I don't have kids. Me and my husband don't have kids yet, but we're definitely planning at some point. Oh, what do you bring to the table for marriage? I'm the table. I'm joking. This is the worst answer you can give for that question. I'm trying to be supportive, consider their interests, make them happy, nurture, bring the peace in the relationship, and we also pretty much do everything together. So a lot of things we bring on the table, we create together, and we have different roles for that. YouTube channel is one part of it. I recently got monetized, and a lot of work. We put a lot of work, both me and Chris, my husband. He's just more on the background. He appears sometimes on the live streams, and sometimes he's here talking as well. But for now, he just prefers to stay out of camera. But he does a lot of work. For example, all those shorts you can see, just the cuts of the live streams. That's what he's doing and working on, and yeah, a lot of things. Like he pushed me a lot of things to do a lot of things. I was speaking of the failure. A good example. I was afraid of starting YouTube channel because I thought, who the hell would watch me, or even if someone would watch me, that felt even worse. Like I would be out there and people would judge and just try to look for my how to say that, like mistakes, and I had very negative mindset towards it, which sometimes I tend to have. Usually I never do that, but there are certain things that is like leaving my comfort zone, and that was one of those things. And he was there just saying, you're doing it, it's non-negotiable, and you got this, I believe in you. And I did it. Straight away I started the channel, started posting. It started from sprinting, and it started growing gradually and getting some feedback and some support. But also the second one was live streaming, and I was scared to start live streaming because another negative thinking. Am I even that good in communicate like directly like this with people, all of the kind of stuff. And one more time, my husband looked at me and said, "Look, that's not negotiable. You got this. I believe in you. You're starting it." And I started it. And actually, I like doing live streams more than video content, even to that extent now. So, yeah, that was a little bit wide response to what do you bring to the table, but our relationship is something that currently we're building so much together that we create the table together. We make that table together, let's say it that way. Are you German? No, I'm Georgian. I don't do arm wrestling. For boxing, that is not the best thing to do. High risks of injuries, and at this point, I don't want to do it. I also I need to train it. Like, I'm not that strong to go against the arm wrestler girl. That sounds great. I respect you for having braces. I respect you for working on yourself. Keep it up. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, you gotta work on yourself. Otherwise, your life's never gonna change. And the second one, I think it's boring to stay in the same place, doing same stuff all over and over again without ending up something new, something that is evolving you as the person, as the human being, making you better, not only for yourself, but for community, for your family, for friends, for society. I really believe that our lives were born with the value. The human life has its value on its own, but apart from that, there is the value you build on top of it. And this is a lot of times people forget about it. They say that, oh, we're all same, we're all equal. But to me, a person who been through struggles and survived and pushed through, remained humble and kind, didn't become bitter, are way above with their value towards the society and the world than people who are just bitter, angry, jealous, and they just don't do anything with their lives. To me, it's a major difference. Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. I already am a failure. What already hurt me can hurt me again. So you push past. Well, we all are failures, okay? Even the best out of best. Let's take some examples, like unbeatable athletes, like in the combat sports. For example, UFC fighters who have a clean record, only wins, no losses, and they're like, you look at them and you think, oh, they're successful. Even though they did not fail in their record, meaning they did not lose the fight yet, or maybe they're not gonna lose it at all, it doesn't mean that had the different stages of they had to build up towards the success, and it consists of the hard work and facing a lot of challenges and a lot of obstacles. And there is impossible, you always fail to a certain extent at some things. It can be a very small thing, and you can just get irritated that you're like, oh, I'm good at everything else, but this one doesn't work that easy. Or it can be something bigger, injuries. It can be, I'm just talking more about sports, but if we brought it up towards life, same. Relationships, everything, it applies to everything. And don't forget that when you look at that person who looks a successful person to you, think about how many times they made a mistake, how many times they failed, how many times they've been judged. Rather publicly, and you can even look up to that information, or even if there is no public information of it, how many times they had to be alone, face to face to their mistakes, to their losses, to their failures. It's also a thing, we might be very good at something, and we might be more of the we're having a winning streak in some aspects of our lives, but usually as an alternating thing, the other aspects of our lives might suffer. A lot of people who are very successful, artists, actors, their relationships suffer. They didn't manage to find the balance where to, and it's not completely up to them and their fault, but it's just the way how it works. So there is no person who's just like a, I don't know, like a Captain Marvel type of person, no challenge, no failure, just the, like the strong human being beating up everyone, winning, and trying to pretend that this is how it is. But this is not how it works. There is also another thing. We bond and we really develop the sympathy to people whose stories are actually full of failure. Yes, some people are jealous and some people like to see people on top failing at some certain things. But there are also a lot of people who like to see them raising up after failing. That gives them the hope, that makes them relatable, and reminds all of us that we all are human beings and we pretty much have the same blueprint of the journey, consisting of a little uphill and then downhill and then uphill and downhill, uphill, downhill, and it just goes on and on and on. The main goal is that long term you still keep climbing up. So from here you get there, even if it's quite a rocky path. So what do you think about it? Just feel free to share it in the chat. You're humble, lovable, and interesting. I'm so glad you and Chris went for it. Kyla, thank you very much. You're very sweet. A lot of people say I have an interesting accent. I think I just try to learn as generic English as I can, but when I sometimes listen to my videos, yeah, they sound like an Eastern European accent a little bit. Who's your favorite MMA fighter? I have a lot of favorite MMA fighters. Georgian fighters for sure. Mirab, Ilya, I'm gonna start from them. I like the slightly older generation, like Volkanovski, Holloway, Poirier, Gaethje, like those guys, Oliveira. Even earlier, Anthony Pettis, Tony Ferguson, because before he went way too crazy with his fighting, and GSP, one of the favorites, Prime Jones, especially in the lightweight, DC, DJ, Demetrius Johnson, a female, Amanda Nunes, Kayla Harrison, Valentina Shevchenko, Rosna Majunas. Out of there, Yemelyanenko. I'm gonna upload a very funny short after that. So it's like me doing. I did a cold plunge yesterday, and like if you watch the video, I don't really have much reaction there. It was like a lot of people on my social medias, they reacted. Oh, like, isn't it cold? Like, why are you not reacting? And I was just like trying to make some cuts just to see my facial expressions, and there's one facial expression, it's like literal dead eyes, and it was reminding me of someone. And then I found Emelianenko's picture and made attached those two pictures, and it's funny. Like we really look alike with our expressions in those pictures. So I'll upload it in the YouTube shorts a little bit later. But anyways, as I said, a lot of fighters, even older, which is more history to me. Bas Rutten, like Gracie's were cool. Kazushi Sakuraba, the Japanese, at that time, one of the best all time. Like Don Fry, and what was another Japanese forgot Yama, forgot his surname, but they had this legendary fight when they just like beat each other. That's what they did for entire fight. So yeah, this is more like pioneers is like a history to me. So I really learned and studied like history. But the point is, mixed martial arts are amazing, and it is very, very, it's like a part of human nature and part of the human, what brought us till nowadays was fighting for survival, fighting against each other, unfortunately, but this is how it works. And now we got to the point that this mixed martial arts is like a representation of the human capability and tendency to fight. I'm married, yes, guys. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up a little bit. Sorry, sometimes. Hello from Kansas. Hi. Library tattoo, thank you. What's the difference between vitamin and hormone? Anyways, well, if you really want to know, vitamin is vitamins are the micronutrients, like small molecules that you get outside from your food. So your body doesn't produce it. And hormones is the product of endocrinological system. So it means your body is producing all essential hormones. What's your take on DDP versus Hamzat? Yo, Betty. I would go DDP. I really want to watch the fight. I'm not saying that Hamzat cannot make it. Don't say that. I'm not saying that it's DDP 100%, but with his crazy resilience and quite a great stamina, and he's unorthodox everything, I would go to DDP. And DDP, I like him quite a lot, actually. Okay, I'm glad to hear, guys. A lot of fighters, karate, boxing, MMA here. Can I be a moderator? Sure, Nightrock. Well, I'm gonna put you as a moderator and see how you do it. Add as a moderator. Standard moderator. Okay. Okay, let's just try it out. Okay, I'm all the way up to the top. Don't fry. That's the guy who was just pushing that other guy in the face again and again. Yes, that's the one. I actually, in my Instagram, I shared it's his words that life is unfair, fighting is unfair. If you're looking for a safe space, like you're looking for a safe space, try eating. The man is a legend. Well, old school fighting was obviously different. I'm more for, when it comes to the health and methodology, obviously I'm all for the modern science-based training and approaches for the preparation. But it was insane era. Like the guy was literally drugging himself up with the painkillers to not feel the pain. Like that's quite that's quite crazy. Do you think boxing is more dangerous or MMA? I mean, boxer's gonna win in the boxing rules, but everything outside of that, I highly doubt it. Even just the single leg kicks, the way, like how you control, like just with the hands, you cannot pass certain positions, certain movements that MMA can provide. So, Don't Fry is a legend, yeah. Okay, guys, I already responded on DDP versus Kamzat. Capoeira. Cool. Yeah, guys, also avoid spamming, okay? Please don't spam. I'm a karate expert to state level and certified lawyer. That's a very cool combo. Good for you, and good for your clients, I would say. Anyways, guys, let's see the voting. Let's see what is. Yeah, most of people say no. 54% now shifted towards people who say no. They don't feel they don't feel being afraid of failure, and or being called as the failure by society, and that's good because you shouldn't. You really should. Like, there are certain things that you have to agree with society, which is, some certain rules, like for example, like a certain dress code. Like we cannot just do whatever we want without the consequences. There has to be certain structure, and it's always better for all of us to follow that structure. But when it comes to certain things like pressures from the society, when it comes to the failure in the post-Soviet countries and in the Soviet countries, that used to be a thing, reminds me of the music industry, for example. Like, maybe it was everywhere else, but I think that it was especially in the Soviet Union. Like, you would play piano and you would get punished one mistake, and the teacher would spank your palm or your wrist with a stick or something. So you were completely constantly under the pressure, and that kind of raising, that kind of environment for raising kids, basically, I think set up a lot of people to be afraid of failing, because that usually would follow by a lot of judgment, a lot of unnecessary criticism, all that kind of stuff. If you survive it, if you kind of get pushed through it and you get stronger, good for you. But a lot of people don't manage it, and that actually usually leads more, even more insecurities and more mental traumas than something good. So that's why I think we should talk about those kind of things, and we need to really encourage each other to don't be afraid to make a mistake. Don't be afraid to lose. Use it as your benefit. Use it as your lesson. Try to come back stronger. Doesn't matter if it's sports. Doesn't matter if it's other industry. Doesn't matter if it's just your personal relationships. It always comes down to the practice. Also, if you are constantly afraid of failing, your consistency suffers and your discipline suffers, meaning that you try something and that it doesn't go according to plan and you just quit. And you build the habit of quitting. Every time it gets slightly harder, you quit, because you're afraid that if you try and you try to push through and you fail at it, it's going to be even worse. But the truth is, it's not going to be even worse. This is a necessary past that differs a person who is a winner, essentially, with their life, and a quitter. Guys, don't be quitters. It's better to be a failure than be a quitter. That's how I will say. Actually, I'm gonna finish this poll, and that's gonna be another question. And I genuinely want to know what the people think about it. So, okay. It's better to be failing than quitting. Quitting. Okay. Failing. Yeah. Is not better. Okay, this is how I'm going to structure it, okay? Okay, starting the poll. Let's see. Okay, guys, there's been some quite some of the comments. I'm going to look it up. Just my. Hey, Red, do you understand now as to why I stress so much on the superfoods and adaptogens? Yeah, just stop worrying about that nonsense. Okay, greetings from Netherlands. Hi, Netherlands. Hope you're doing well. Join the Discord chat, guys. Yes, for if you want to join the community and be able to. I actually need to look into if it's the right link for the Discord chat. But yeah, we have a Discord, and I think I should start putting the Discord link every time under the live description, which I'll do next time. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Never give up on your dreams. That's the good one. Can you pin your Discord link? Maybe I'll do that next time, because right now if I quit the live, it's just gonna start messing up with the live stream. I love a challenge. Being old, I can't make me want to prove I can even more. That's a good attitude, Kyla. What is the topic? Well, if you look at the live stream thumbnail and the title, it's about while failing is necessary, and we're trying to break that fear in people who really need to face it, that failing is necessary. There's nothing wrong with it. It is part of the growth and part of the development, actually essential part. You're not going to be able to make significant changes if you don't fail first. And yeah, that's what we've been talking about here. Click the link. Okay, Frosty Cupcake, thank you for helping. So it seems here is the link. Can you pin it? Okay, I'll pin the message. Yeah, I did it, and I hope it's gonna show. Better to fail than quit. Yes, absolutely agree. What do you think about homosexuality growing in the US? I think it's not homosexuality growing in the US, I think it's propaganda growing in the US. But homosexuals always existed. It's just the way how it's pushed. Like, propaganda can do a lot. The trends, the so-called trends can do a lot. And I guess that is like, I'm against any type of propaganda. Not only that, but like whatever is being aggressively pushed towards us, I'm always having a suspicious eye on it. So yeah, that's my opinion. You know the right answer. If you don't, you should never be a fighter. That's a harsh but very very good point. Okay, guys. Hi team. Hi to England. Okay. How is your day going? It's going well. It's quite nice. Like and subscribe. What a beautiful Haiti. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys for checking my channel and helping to grow it. It's really highly appreciated. What do you feel about being extremely gorgeous? Well, I just think I look good when it's good lighting, and with the little enhancement with a little touch of the makeup, and I think it has to do a lot with me trying to be humble, and naturally being I'm a quite shy person. I used to be very shy, so it's not something that I had to work on much. I actually had to come out a little bit more in the world, but I think I appreciate those traits in other people when I see, let's say, well, let's mention specifically about women when they're good looking, obviously, but looks can be enhanced. What really enhances the person's attractiveness is their personality and how they talk and their actions. Thank you, Richard. What's your height? I'm 161 centimeters or 5.2 feet. I have learned to live with it. You mean failure? Well, like embrace it. No, genuinely. Just stop thinking about what others think and take it as your like accept it as your friend. I don't know, like failure, you need failure to evolve. There is no other answer to it. And I think that is the main, like in accepting the fact that we fail at things and we lose sometimes, is to actually embrace it in a positive manner. Take it as okay, if I don't try and I don't fail at times, I'm not gonna learn. I'm not gonna have a piece for the thought to actually put a lot of thinking to it. You're too honest. Thank you, Tripto. Hi. Hope you're doing well. I think personality can be changed through your environment and how you react to it. I agree. Apart from genetics and genetical profile, second, maybe even to a certain extent, even more important factor is the environment you are living in, you are being raised in, and you're being surrounded in the long term. And how you react to it, whatever reality you have in front of you, is a self-conscious practice. A lot of people just react the way they react. Like they just follow their emotions. They just follow their reactive emotions. But when you choose how to react to it, you try to adapt stoic mentality, calmness, being able to act fast and calmly in the critical situations. This is a choice, and it takes quite a lot of work. So I always do have a big respect to people who been through that path. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the compliments. I appreciate it. I'm not reading everything out loud because we just don't want to focus on that too much. Brian says, you're very beautiful and very smart. I really feel that you will be going far in life. You will be a billionaire someday. Yeah, hope not through divorce. I mean, sorry, it was a little bit cruel joke, but I think apart from Oprah and Taylor Swift, now she's a billionaire too. I don't think there are women who didn't get it through inheritance or through divorce. So definitely no. I'd rather make less money, but me and my husband work together and stay together for it, and succeed in it together. But I appreciate your words. From which country you are? I'm from Georgia. Are you uploading on some other platform? Not at the moment. I'm focusing quite a lot on YouTube. I think you can grow with failure. Yes, you definitely can. And one of the important one of the important things, how to set up yourself for a better success. There is difference when you just live in an environment that everyone is a failure and you fail. Yeah, you kind of push through, but you don't really learn, and it just happens. And then you look around and everyone else is the same, and it's considered normal in your community, in your environment, rather than when you have people that you choose yourself to surround yourself with, people who are superior to you, who are smarter, who are on another level. And sometimes you might even be a little, how to say that, like in the student's position. But as long as you're willing to learn, those people want to be around you. They want to help to unlock your potential. This is the environment you want to create for yourself. If you really want to learn how to take the best out of the failure, and ideally not even repeat the same mistake and same losses over and over again, it is really important who you're surrounding yourself with. Up to a certain point, it is an individual self-work, but then from certain point it becomes it really like you put your practice on through socialization. You actually have to deal with other people and use, meaning in a good way, use other people to get better yourself. That's why I always push that narrative that it really matters who you surround yourself with. So you're married? Yes, I'm married. Can you do a backflip? No, I can't. Adversity is a privilege. Alex. Interesting wording. Adversity becomes a privilege when you survive it, but it's definitely not a choice. It just happens. And I believe that the best life lessons, the best way how to become resilient is actually, it's good to be able to consciously put yourself through certain challenges, physical challenges, some mental challenges every now and then, it's like can be a self-work. But the toughest ones are the ones that life provides, and that doesn't really ask your opinion about it. You just gotta survive. And I really like this wording that always comes to my mind when the things get harder. God never puts you through certain things that you cannot survive. If we think about it, unfortunately, a lot of people don't survive, a lot of people don't get through. But the idea of that, believing in myself, thinking that, okay, even if it's tough and if it's so hard, that I don't believe that I can make it, but remembering that life doesn't provide the situations and the obstacles that you cannot survive. With that attitude, you're going to be always looking for the getting to your goal, always getting through it. And like, if you never give up, nothing can stop you unless you're dead. And at that point, it's not your problem anymore. But you see where I'm going, right? If you don't give up, nothing can stop you. Thank you for the compliment. Never give up on your dreams. Always push forward and stay positive and focused, and I promise you will go far. I appreciate you. Thank you. And as I said, never give up. Nothing's going to be able to stop you if you refuse to give up. Where are you from? I'm from Georgia. Yes, I felt so privileged when my entire family was killed. I mean, if it's true, if it's not a joke, just a dark joke, and if it's true, I'm so sorry. And it's definitely not the thing you wish to a person, okay? But that happened. So the cruel reality is those things happen, and when they happen, you cannot change them. What you can do is don't give up, never stop, and nothing's going to be able to stop you. I also believe that that's why another side of it is we need to have a strong system of belief for and Orthodox religions like Christianity, and like some system for the belief to believe in God, that that your family we lose our family, our friends at some point in our life. This is how life works. But the sense of that they're with us, that we carry them with our hearts and with our memory, and make them live together with us. Those kind of systems, the belief systems, help also to stay sane and be able to even get stronger and keep pushing through the life. But I hope you're doing well. What's your favorite boxing movie? Of course, Rocky. I also like the Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal. That movie made me cry, like the way his wife died there, and so it's fictional, obviously, but it's a good one. I need to take my life. I'm just scared. Well, I hope you mean take your life in your hands and keep moving forward, because that's what you gotta do. Okay, and it's okay to be scared. A fear doesn't determine that you're not able to do it. I'll tell you, the bravest people who seem to be the bravest are experiencing fear as much as you do. They just learn how to don't let that fear to stop them. Is your recovery day? Yeah, yesterday and today. So it's in Vietnam. It's Saturday, Sunday. It's weekends, and I'm just taking an opportunity to recover. I had a full body massage today in the morning and had some nap. So yeah, definitely feeling good. Okay, Tess, so I'm just hiding you from the channel because I don't want anyone to read this. Okay. That might look a little bit harsh, maybe it's just someone joking and trolling, but I really think that someone might watch it and be at a hard time in their life, and all they need to hear now is that being afraid is okay. Being afraid of failing is also okay. It's normal. But there are ways how to push through it, and that's what makes difference. Shout out, fan. You're most positive, uplifting, real person I've encountered in a while. I'm so thankful for you, Diana. Thank you very much, Kyle, and you're one of the people that definitely make me more motivated to keep doing it. Sometimes never quitting itself could really be the worst thing you could do and actually cause you stagnant. Yes, it can be. I can tell you my experience. Never giving up has to be a little bit more generalized approach to life. Like, you shouldn't ever give up on your life. Never give up on your potential. But sometimes people really focus on they choose a very narrow course. For example, when I was doing amateur boxing and I was getting to the point to, just quit, retire for few reasons, I felt devastated. I thought that, my dream about the Olympics, getting there, keep growing, that's over. But then I just started approaching it differently. I told myself, what if I never quit? Yes, right now I'm officially retiring. I'm giving up on it. But I don't give up on myself, meaning that I changed my plan slightly. I changed my course. This is what you do in the seas. You have to navigate. You cannot just strictly follow that course. If there is a storm coming, you gotta change it. You're gonna readjust it. So I decided, okay, what can I do to make an income? Because I had to support my family at some point, and support myself, and I knew that no one could help me. So I became a personal trainer, and I combined boxing with fitness and started getting better at it. So it's been already 7 years me being in the industry. I worked in the gyms, now I work online. I don't teach boxing online, but I train some functional training, the basic conditioning, trauma prevention, pain relief, like all the kind of stuff, hypertrophy in the strength training as well, especially with men usually. They request that type of training. But the point is, I readjusted, but I also never stopped doing boxing completely. Like I kept sparring, and I just like last sparring was 2 years ago, but in the rest 5 years, I've been doing it on and off. I've been helping others for preparation, just to put myself in a situation that, like, I still there, you know, I still don't distance myself just because I didn't follow a specific plan that I wanted to follow. Like I readjusted. Essentially now I'm at the point where I'm growing my YouTube channel, and I'm at my physical prime, that I like the strongest that I've ever been. Now I have the knowledge that I need to be at a very, very good physical shape. I'm one thing I'm relatively lacking comparing my strengths and skill and technique and like, you know, understanding of the fight is cardio, and I already added up to VO2 max training. And I'm looking forward to maybe start doing boxing again. Not maybe, I've said it many times that the question is just rather I do amateur boxing again, but I might have to be attached more to Georgia. But this time I'm not a little girl who is dependent on federation anymore. I have a husband, I have my platform that I'm growing, and I'm gonna try to make it the way that I'm gonna have more freedom, and I'm gonna be able to, you know, do what I'm doing. If not, maybe some pro boxing. And that's the point, you know, like I don't feel like I failed in life. I don't feel like I gave up on myself. If I would stuck on that single decision that I would still hold there and keep pushing through, not giving up, but essentially it wouldn't make sense. That would be more of the loss than where I'm at right now. So I hope that situation gives a good example that changing plan is part of following the plan. Okay, I'm in Vietnam currently, but I'm from Georgia, the country. I'm not enough. Well, it depends for whom. Your partner tells you you're not enough, or your parents tell you that you're not enough, well, that's, as I said, trying to surround yourself with the different people. But also there might be things that you have to shape up a little bit. You have to take that responsibility, become reliable, responsible, consistent person who takes the control over things they can control in their life. If you're giving up on that's on you. That won't die. And failing is better. It builds confidence and character, and it always leaves room for you to change and never go to these things again. Quitting, you will never know what the outcome would have been. Yes, that's the point of entire stream, and you verbalized it very well. Thank you so much for that decision, Diana. This is so true. There really could be someone watching you in a real bad place in life, and reading toxic comments to you or others could harm them. Yeah, I mean, we agree on that, right? Yes, right now we're just gonna stay around the positive and stay around, we got this. And it's not even lie, we're not making some things up. You got this. If you're watching it and you feel at the bad place in your life, it's just a bad place in life, that's it. You gotta go through it, you gotta face your fears and act despite your fear. And that's what's gonna make you a brave person, nothing else. There is not a single person who does not fear things. fear is our primary human instinct, and specifically survival instinct. Accept it as this. Like actually, the fear is your friend technically, because they want the fear wants to. If that would be a person, they would want they would want to make sure that you survive. So you just learn how to navigate. How I deal with fear is actually an interesting way. Instead of pushing through aggressively, I actually learn to just ask it politely, just step away, because I identify moments where there is a real reason to fear and where it's not. So when it's something like as called as irrational fear, nothing's happening really, and it's just like trying something new or experiencing something new. But your primitive part of brain thinks that it's like you're dropping in a fight and flight response before that stupid presentation or like something like that, or a job interview. I just talk to myself and talk to my fear and say, hey, I appreciate you. Thanks to you, helping me out with things and trying to protect me. But there is no need to protect me right now. I got this. And I don't know, somehow it works for me. It just goes away. And not completely. Sometimes it still feels a little bit, unpleasant. But it doesn't matter. You still push through it. You still make that step, and you still act despite your fear. And I never ever regretted doing that. I can tell you that. I don't think failing builds confidence and character. I think never give up builds confidence. Yeah, never giving up is a result of failing and getting up. And the fact that you don't give up proves to your own self that you actually can deal with that. You can push through. You're resilient enough, or you build that resilience. And that makes you feel proud. I felt proud in my life when I was like, you know what? I'm not perfect. I didn't do things perfectly. Nothing was perfect exactly, but I never give up. I'll tell you a good example. So a lot of people don't know, but I did some civilian type of military training, which is 2 months course, and then you have like 2 days of hardcore exam written by special forces. Georgian Special Forces. Just instead of like 3-4 weeks they've been doing that, it's just dropped down to 2 days. But it's still extremely tough. And I failed 2 times. First time, everyone thought I would pass. But I quit in 1 hour. There were some issues, and I don't want to make excuses, but there were certain flaws in the preparation. My backpack was way bigger than me, and it was like you gotta get as light as you can. So yeah, there were some strategic issues with preparation, but mostly I was just not ready physically. And for me, it's like if I'm not ready physically, I cannot to me, there were some people who pushed through with no one expected them to pass it, but they did. And that was a lot of mental resilience, but sometimes it's also physically you become a little burden for others, and there are like some group tasks too, so you stick for a few hours with the certain groups and you got things to do together. So to me, not being able to really do it physically kills my willpower straight away. This is how it worked, at least in the beginning. The first attempt was a failure, and I felt bad about it. I felt that so many people thought that I would do good. They had hopes for me, and I failed them too. But straight away I decided, despite feeling that, up until I went second time, I told myself, you know what, I'm gonna go on the next attempt, and I'm gonna do it up until I pass, no matter what happens. So next time, it was summer, And I went way longer. I finished the entire day, but then I just passed out in the sun. It was extremely hot. And I felt better about myself. That time I didn't feel like a failure anymore because I saw that I did the second time. And I went way further. And I also kind of felt, okay, what's going to be? Now I knew what would be the first day because we didn't have information what to do. And I was like, okay, I'm gotta prepare even better. Going there on the third time. And like people were even joking in the community that like I will not give up, and not in a bad way. That was just ironic. And I was saying, yeah, I'm just gonna go as long, even if it's 10, 11 times, I'm just gonna do it. And so third time, before that, I went a lot of hiking. I volunteered in a TCT project, which is just making a Trans-Caucasian hiking trail, basically just digging up the trail half of the day, and then being in the beautiful mountains, beautiful area, nature, crystal clear water, like river down in the hill, no phone connection. So it was constant physical training, a lot of hiking, and I definitely got stronger at that. And I was like showering and like cleaning myself in the cold water, and I would do that even after coming back from mountains. And third attempt was I passed fairly, and I passed. I even got the extra. So people who were in charge, the invited guests who were military personas, they gave me, as you call, props. Like they said that I did well, and I actually managed to help others, motivate them. I was strong and resilient enough to be able to pull others when you're not supposed to do that. I'm glad that I did it that way, because the third attempt was the real one. That was the result of that work and of those two prior failings. That without that, I wouldn't get it to the third attempt. But that single addict, like I felt, as I say, I felt ashamed. I felt embarrassed. I had all those kind of feelings. But that thought that it doesn't matter how I feel, I'm not gonna give up. And I would just tell, I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up. Like a stubborn child. And I was acting on it. That's what helped. And obviously, trying to analyze my mistakes, my things that I was lacking, and trying to get at it, enhance those two. Okay, I'm gonna scroll up a little bit. And never give up comes when you have no choice left. That's true. But also learned from the mistakes. You cannot go in circles. You must have a plan. Exactly. That's what I mentioned in the end. No, sometimes people fail and quit. Not everyone is the same. Absolutely. I mentioned that too, that unfortunately a lot of people fail, a lot of people quit. But I just want to encourage people that at least never quit, and never quit on yourself. Readjust the plan. If you failed certain things and it was too hard or too unbearable, find something you finally stick to and get consistent on. That's why when it comes to training, we want to, I really want to encourage people to start doing resistance training. It doesn't have to be every day. Start once or twice a day, but start doing that consistently. Learn how to train, learn how to make your body stronger, because that's gonna directly affect your mind as well. And thanks to years of training on and off on the different levels, but still being pretty much consistent and pretty much active, that helped me to become who I am now. It really, really affected my mental resilience too. And there are always stronger people than I am, and there are always someone who's been through tougher stuff. And I highly respect those people. But at the end of the day, it's about the same mentality. It doesn't matter what you go through, just don't give up. Be stubborn. If you never give up, repeating one more time, if you never give up, nothing can stop you. You box? I'm a Thai boxer. Good for you. Yes, I'm boxing. So that Diana, your resilience speaks volumes. Thank you very much. As I said, it's just being stubborn child. Don't give up, but be ready to change the plan. Sometimes you're gonna have to be adaptive. You need to adapt to a lot of things in life. A lot of things not gonna go the way you want. So it's a combination of being adaptable, but also pushing through certain things that you want to achieve and you need to achieve. Movement is a key. Any movement is better than no one. That's what Chris says quite often. Yeah, I completely agree. My sons and 3 nephews. I'm Clonmel Boxing Club. Okay, interesting. Well, Irish and English, pretty much. It's like for Georgia, it's Georgian national dancing at the childhood, at the very least. I think boxing is a thing for you guys. I mean, it was invented in England, so. Well, Tesla, even giving up on some things might be a part of the plan. I've given up on some things. Actually, even to be able to transform, you have to give up on the old habits, you have to give up on some of the old beliefs. There are a lot of things life can put you in the situation that you have to give up on certain things. But please, don't give up on yourself. Okay? I need to achieve a woman like you. I like the phrasing. Achieve a woman like you. Well, my husband and I, when we met, we were not as good as we are now. Not as wise and not as calm and self-centered. So I think you should look for someone who has a potential and who are really willing to become a better and better version of themselves. I think that is the main quality that you need to look for, apart from all the other decent qualities like loyalty, truthfulness, responsibility, accountability, support, nurturing, like all that kind of stuff, and resilience to a certain extent. You need someone who's been through some stuff, who had to take care of the things in their life, but also, as I said, who are willing to put the work for keep moving uphill, because it's easy to start building things together with this kind of people, and it's even better. It's way better when you commit to the things together and you grow into soulmates, and as a result you build up the entire life together, rather than just meet to the point that you have building up your stuff, she has building up her stuff, and it's kind of less bonding, I would say. We're the same, but we're better. Yeah, I know what's so Irish and English technically are different, and I know that you historically had the issues with England and the occupation not very long ago. Was it like in the 90s? That was quite rough. But yeah, anyways, the point is that it happens with the neighbor countries. I mean, look at us, Georgia versus Russia. There's still ongoing unpleasant situation politically. But just want to say, me and my husband like Irish people, like really do love Irish people. Every Irish people we met are cool, at least outside of the country. Why you skipped my comment? I wrote in it with my very much effort. Well, I apologize. Let me look it up. Okay, no, sometimes people fail and quite not everyone is the same. Well, I already responded to that one. I read this one. No, I pretty much went through your comments. And I read this one too. I don't think failing builds confidence and character. I think never giving up builds the confidence. No, I went through all of your comments. Maybe you didn't hear, but I've been actually addressing quite a lot of things that I said towards your comments. You're doing great. Yeah, we all try. You cannot talk about these topics. Well, tell me a single reason why. I'm from England. Yes, Tim, I already said hi to you. No, that apps one. Well, you can write it down one more time because there is, I can look it up now if you write it down again. Oh, okay, 79% in the poll say that failing is better. And I agree. Failing is better. We should get rid of the shame of failing. Unless we really set up ourselves for the failure. A lot of people live the life, I would say, in the delusion, and they set up themselves for the failure and they just go over and over and over again with the same mistakes. I've seen many people doing that. So in that case, maybe sometimes it's like, shame can be a good thing, even though I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of shaming people. I always try to explain to people, but there are some people who are completely not in the right mind sometimes. But apart from that, you shouldn't be ashamed of failing when you actually try to make things better. And you're actually on your way to a valid goal. You're making me think about some serious decisions I need to make with my life. I don't know, Kyla. I mean, it's if it's a call, if your heart tells you that, but also your brains confirm, maybe that's something you gotta do. And whatever it is, I'm a planner, so I would suggest to look into what is reality, what would change if things change, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, after setting up the plan, looking into it, it's up to you. The decision is completely up to you. A failure doesn't make you a loser. Not trying makes you a loser, in my opinion. I'm gonna read it out loud. Failure doesn't make you a loser. Not trying makes you a loser. Okay, you know what? That's gonna be. I'm gonna finish this poll, which is I like the answers. I like the pretty much positive attitude, not only positive attitude, but quite realistic and resilient approach to it. But I'm gonna put Kyla's, let me see now. Can I copy it? No, I have to type it out. Make you a loser, not trying makes you a loser. Okay. Let's try it. Is it the limit? It seems like I can't do the poll anymore. Well, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's the reason. Anyways, guys, the link here for the Discord is pinned, and you can look it up, and you can join you can join the community if you're willing to. Okay, I think I reached the limits for the poll. But I will repeat it one more time out loud. Kyla says, failure doesn't make you a loser. Not trying makes you a loser. Yeah. Not trying. There might be certain things that you just don't want to try, and it's completely fine. We're talking about things that really, really matter for your goals, for your life, for your self-development, like important stuff, like the key aspects that you really need to experience before going on the next level. And that's what we mean by trying things. There are things you shouldn't try if you don't want to, and there's like, if someone tells you, oh, you're a failure because you haven't tried it, that's stupid. It has to be deeply aligned with your goal, with your self-development, with your ability to develop your social skills, so you can build not only yourself up, but your community, your family, being able to build that up and maintain it. So that's the things we're talking about. Lance says, someone always has it worse than you. Never forget that. That's a good one as well. I'm going to repeat it one more time. Someone always has it worse than you. Never forget that. Well, it might not be the most motivational, but it just gives a good reality check. And we need a lot of reality checks sometimes. Sometimes it's not about feeling good about those words and feeling motivated. Sometimes it's just facing the truth and understanding that your situation is actually not that bad. It might be worse than someone else's situation, but it might be way better than a lot of people's situation. It's just, again, it's not focusing on like others really being bad and kind of mocking that. Not for that. It just gives you a perspective of being appreciating your reality and starting appreciating a good things happening in your life. That's why you would want to do that comparison. The greater the setback, the better the comeback. I really love those, guys. I really love your quotes here. The greater the setback, the better the comeback. I like that one. Here, you cannot afford to fail. Here, where? What do you mean? I mentioned certain things. I mentioned Georgian example, for example, that Georgian people are quite judgmental. They can be quite judgmental about those things. And, well, sometimes here, you gotta change that here if it doesn't align with your goals and with your values. We're living in a world that we are not exactly attached to the one country. We're pretty much having opportunities to travel, and like they are more expensive countries. I'm not talking about those specifically, but there's also so many countries like Vietnam, South Asia is one of the cheapest countries in the world. You don't really have to be very rich to be able to come here, start a new life, get socialized. There are like nice Vietnamese and foreigner people living here. The nature is beautiful, working opportunities for English speaking people, for example, and etc. So you gotta look into the options and the environment you can create for yourself. Sometimes you gotta start move the places and gotta start things from the scratch. Sometimes that is the answer. Failing is not down, Samuel says. Failing is next step. That's a good one. As I said, I really do like it. I'm gonna keep reading it out loud. What's the stream about? I just joined. It's about talks about how that failing is necessary, that it's not something that you should be afraid of or ashamed of. And even if you're afraid and ashamed of, it's completely natural emotions as well. But the fact that start embracing failing or possibility of failing in something, but for the sake of trying it, and not giving up, and stay on your course towards your long-term goals. This is what we're talking about here, how to do that. In my opinion, failing is the same as quitting. Interesting. If you mean that quitting is a real failing, that could be put in that could have its own meaning. But like, just what is failing? Failing is something that you want to do a certain way and you didn't manage to do it a certain way. So you failed the original standard. rather your own standard or societal standard or something like that, right? But if you just think about it, you just fail a standard, like just a set standard. Does it really sound that bad? Doesn't sound like the end of the world to me, unless you take the failure up to the scale, like you literally give up on yourself. Like giving up on yourself and giving up on your life and giving up on the important things in your life can be a major setback. And at itself, it can make your life a real failure. So the key aspect is find a way how to not give up. You can change your plan, you can readjust, you can change profession, you can afford failing in smaller things. You failed in that career, who cares? Change the career. You failed in one relationship, well, try not to fail in every single relationship in your life, but try to learn from that relationship. Okay, that was a learning experience. Try to become a better person and more overall, generally, a better fulfilled person, and try to do it better next time. So there are certain failures that you should let yourself to do on your way, so you get to the point that you get used to not giving up. Because if you don't do it at all, if you don't risk at all and never, you end up in the situation that actually you miss opportunities, you stop moving, you don't evolve. And if you stop moving and you don't evolve, this is when the regress starts. And to me, that is scary part. Like if you are in that comfort zone and you're just, especially when you have this potential calling inside of you and telling you that you got, like, I want to do this, I want to achieve this and that, but you just close up in your shell instead of doing the things that you gotta do to achieve those goals. That what we can call a real, I don't want to call it a failure, I want to call it a disaster. Yeah, that's a disaster, and it's better to avoid that disaster by failing where it's necessary and learning out of it. If you fail the exam, you have to quit to support your family. And then what? I started university, and I just quit I just quit because I realized that it was just not for me and not for what I want to do. But trust me, my grandma especially and my parents, they were like, oh, what you're doing, you're failing in life. That was just like a stage that everyone was panicking except me. I was like, I exactly know what to do. Like then in the couple months, I took this, I saved up money I was a waitress in this Italian restaurant. I saved up money to afford the PT course, personal trainer course. And this is how I started. This is how I readjusted. And then I learned English, and then I started practicing online trainings, and I'm quite okay with what I'm doing, and it doesn't stop there. It gives me a flexible schedule, good income, ability to travel together with my husband, but also ability to train, do the YouTube, and just keep going and moving forward. So sometimes some things are just a societal pressure. And unless you really want to be a doctor or a lawyer, I would say, that you really need to have academic education. There's some fields that you really need to do that. Apart from that, there's so many opportunities nowadays. Like university system as it is right now is not a necessary thing anymore. And some people might judge me for saying that, but as I said, unless you need the academic education and the license, such as medical work in the medical fields and pharmaceuticals, all that kind of stuff, law, I found maybe economy, I don't know, exactly not sure. There are some subjects. Unless you don't want to do that, why would you go to university for arts? No, but really, like in the nowadays. Before, you had to do it. But now we're living in life that, sorry, just cut off for a second. A lot of things became way more flexible. If you read books, then try Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I listened as an audiobook some of his meditations, and yeah, I mean, it's the father of the Stoicism, and Stoicism helps. It helps to manage your emotions and manage your reactive emotions, and definitely is one of the great tools to be able to kind of, how to say that? If you're too emotional, that's one of the reasons why you want to quit, because you feel a lot of negative emotions. But once you learn the art of detachment, you learn how to look at things more pragmatically, you feel, but you don't act on it, then it actually it becomes easier. The practice of not giving up becomes easier. Where are you from? I'm from Georgia. Because if you fail and accept it as a failure, don't try again. It's the same as quitting. If you don't look at failure as failure, look at as a pit stop or lesson. You never fail. Okay, that's interesting interpretation. I mean, it's those kind of things. It's a game of words, and as much as I agree with what you're saying, okay, it's up to you. You want to call a failure a good thing? Do it, as long as it works and makes you not giving up. If you call it a failure, is a failure, but don't call it a failure. Call it a pit stop or a lesson. Like some people say, I don't believe in failure. I believe in life lessons. That's also good quoting. Doesn't matter what words. Like, we're not here to argue about the wording. We're here to establish and basically spread that message about not giving up, not being afraid to make mistakes or fail in some things or whatever the meaning behind it. Accept the fear and feelings like embarrassment, also completely normal. It's just about facing it, keep following your course. At times, you might have to shift your course, change the plan, but you don't give up on plan. It's like a constant process, and it's a very diverse process. And that guarantees you always move forward, step by step, like even if it's little steps. It guarantees that you're not gonna fall into this, as I said, disaster of life when you just stop moving at all, you stop moving forward, and you start gradually falling backwards. That's what you want to avoid. And how you avoid it is you always keep in motion. It can be very slow. You can take little breaks. Sometimes you rest. You just detach from everything. You navigate it throughout depending on what is the situation, what circumstances, and what is the needs in your life. But never stop moving. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a lesson, not a failure. Yeah. The reason why I'm just talking about the failure as the failure, because a lot of people are not going to tell you, oh, child, that's just a lesson, you're doing well. No, they're going to tell you you're a failure. A lot of us been told that we're a failure. And I really want people to start accepting as you know what, failure is not even bad. It's good for me. So that's why I use the word. I'm not trying to change the wording here. If it works for you, that's great. But for most people, I really want them to stop antagonizing this word, because if they stop antagonizing it, it's going to become their tool. But what you said is failing, quitting. No, I was just interpreting someone else. Like, to me, failing is not equal quitting. It's just someone else said that, and I just ask what they mean by saying, because sometimes it's all about, here we're not arguing about interpretation, the wording, as long as the idea stays that a mistake, a failure, lesson, whatever, you make sure that it becomes a lesson to you, and you keep, climbing through that rocky path, and you refuse to give up, then you are not a failure. Even if you have 1,000 losses, 1,000 failed attempts, not failed lessons. Lessons should be like, ideally you want to learn once, maximum twice. You don't want to be repetitive when it comes to the lesson learning, but attempts can be thousands of not successful attempts, and it's completely fine as long as you keep moving, as long as you refuse to give up, and as long as you take it as something positive. Actually, like I really do love. I'm to the point that I actually enjoy struggling with something and trying to figure it how the thing works, because it just makes me excited, because I'm excited about learning something new. Whether it's like when you're already good at, you already been there, you already done it, it already becomes natural. But those new challenges are always something that refreshes me, reminds me that there is still room from the progress, room for the knowledge and evolvement. Thank you guys, I appreciate you. Tanya is trying to say sometimes that sometimes you have to, and it's not bad to get some knowledge with it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I said, we don't disagree. Wording can be slightly different. We can talk about philosophy of what it could mean, or like how we could look at it. As I said, the essence, I already mentioned it. I'm studying medicine, but sometimes I go too stressed due to it and want to quit. Well, medical field is very, very stressful, and huge respect to you trying to pursue you and pursue it and get become a doctor. Well, Thomas, please share more about what is the field you're looking. How long you've been in school? Like what are your goals regarding medical field? And another thing is that is one of the hardest fields in the world, and I mean it's not only hard for you, it's hard for everyone. Even like the successful stories in the medical fields, like successful surgeons, doctors, medical practitioners, they've been through the same stuff you've been going through. So if that's really something you are meant to do, you feel that that you were born to do that, just keep doing it. It's gonna be hard at times. Take a rest a little bit. Sometimes you gotta take a little rest, encourage yourself a little bit, reward yourself with something. But just do everything that everything that takes to stay focused. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up. Have you tried Kinkali? Of course I have tried Kinkali. Tony says, if you have a failures mentality, you have already quit. I agree completely. Don't quit, you're just tired, get a sleep, at least you're not bored. Ayush says, yes, completely fine. That's true. That was very well said in a short way. A lot of doctors and medical students suffer from lack of sleep, so just make sure that you get that sleep debt paid. Kelda says, yeah, failure, pit stop, lesson, that's all semantics. The idea is the same though. The message is to keep going, don't give up. Yeah, that's pretty much it. How are you doing? We're doing well. Redheads are the best, truly underrated and underappreciated. I don't think so. I think redheads are there's the whole cult on the redheads. I have heard the same thing for 5 minutes. Yeah, I don't know, we're talking here. Guys, if you're not liking those kind of talks, you're free to scroll up with the the chat or the stream. Have you tried khinkali? Of course, it's Georgian, one of the Georgian national dishes. Basically, it's a dumpling, but you gotta eat khinkali with your hands. It's like if you eat khinkali with the knife and fork, it's same as breaking pasta before cooking it for Georgians. So it's quite. If you didn't know, well, now you know. I just realized I haven't drank it fully. So this is coffee with a protein powder. So that makes it around 25 grams of protein total. Hi Radhad, did you train today? No, I haven't trained today. It's a rest day. So weekends, I usually try to rest. Sometimes I train on Saturdays, but I keep Sundays off most of the time. So today we're having a karaoke night as well, a little bit later on. But yeah, guys, how you've been doing? Like it's being very good conversation, I think, and it reminds all of us that no matter what we do, let's just get the habit of not giving up. Sometimes, even if we feel giving up, still not giving up it can be a habit, a trait that just is ingrained in your life. I actually believe it shouldn't be an emotional act. It should be a conscious decision just to, no matter what happens, you don't give up. Because then you just follow it through and you follow through your word. Is your torso short or long? I think I'm quite proportional when it comes to classic, like a Da Vinci type of anatomy. But I think my torso is a little bit shorter than my legs. Perfect rest of the weekend. Yeah, absolutely. We live weekends for some deep conversations. It's a legit question, weird question. I mean, guys, it's okay. It's okay question. Nothing crazy, nothing stupid, nothing offensive. Just maybe a little bit random, out of topic. But who said we have to strictly stick to the topic? Just feel free to ask whatever. Hey Kelly, hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining. Anyways, yeah, we've been repeating same thing over and over again, but failing is okay, or as long as you make it a lesson, as long as it's not repetitive. If someone tells you, oh, you're a failure because you just lost this match, or you didn't manage to do this and that, don't listen to them. Take it as the lesson and take the value out of it for yourself and make it as the important part of your progress. You gotta have to learn those lessons, have those situations where you are making something, failing at something, or making a mistake, so you can learn from it and keep moving forward. And also adapt this attitude. Just don't give up. No matter what happens, no matter how you feel, no matter how others feel, just don't give up. I'll repeat it one more time. If you don't give up, nothing can stop you. Man, do you watch movies? I started watching movies more since me and my husband are together. He likes watching movies and series, and we usually do that together. Failure is first attempt in failing. Yeah. Also, as we said, um, like if we talk about scales, an attempt, a failed attempt is actually, you can have millions and millions of the failed attempts, but as long as you don't give up, you are moving forward. Then like you gotta have less failed lessons. You don't want to fail your lessons. If you have a situation, first attempt, maybe second, you try to learn out of it and get better at it. I'm talking, as I said, one more time, I'm talking about more generalized stuff and important stuff in life, not specifically just the relatively insignificant things in life, more like relationships, more like a general thing where you want to end up and what you want to become. So it's not just strictly one-dimensional, it's just general, more general. And for that, you can have a lot of attempts and you're going to have a lot of lessons to learn. Try to learn lessons quickly after 1-2 attempts. But when it comes to the failed attempts, you're going to have many failed attempts and then you're going to have many successful attempts. As long as you don't stop. As long as you don't stop, you will succeed. How do we find what we want for men? You mean what you are wanted for? Well, women want strong men. And when I talk about strong men, I'm not talking about necessarily big bodybuilder guys with the massive egos. That's not only definition of being like looking strong or like giving a strong vibe. I think the first and most important thing that men can do is be able to support themselves and be resilient. And when they start relationship, when they make the family, they give the sense to their family, to their kids and to their wife that they can support them and provide for them and protect them. I'm not saying it has to be strictly conservative. Like you can both work, for example, and both have jobs, or it can be more like traditional way. I'm just talking about the sense of protecting, supporting, and providing, especially in the vulnerable periods when the woman is pregnant, when a woman, a lot of cases it's maternity leave, or in some countries it's not even maternity leave. She becomes reliant on her spouse, and this is where men takes a providing role, especially because of the pregnancy and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, those kind of things. And that's why men who are fit, who are exercising, but even like I know men who are not going to gym, but they work like hard jobs. They do, both intellectual and physical jobs. So they have this sense of responsibility. They are ready to deal with stress just to make sure their families are good. I think that is like a basic for man to be able to provide for his wife and his children. Obviously, if you really want to be more demanded on the dating market, well, try to get fit. Doesn't matter what your height you are. You cannot change your height, but you can change your body parameters. You can look. You can have wider back. You can have wider shoulders and neck and traps. And for that, you're gonna have to start lifting some weights and do hypertrophy training. Try to get a good haircut and beard cut. Just be clean. Train, become more articulate. Try to train. I'm just talking specifically about men right now, just because it was a question. There's a lot of work and a lot of things that women have to do and work on themselves as well. But then anyway, so what else? Obviously financial. We're talking about providing just a second ago, right? So even before providing for the family, a man has to be able to support himself, because it gives him a sense of own security, self-confidence, confidence is a very attractive trait. So all of those, being physically fit, being financially well off, it doesn't have to be anything extreme. Doesn't have to be, you don't have to be rich, but at least you're striving, you try to build up your life, you're responsible, you are not like dependent on your parents when you're 30, 35. That's not only unattractive, but also unreliable. You can't rely on a person who is dependent on their parents at that age. And it goes more extreme for men than women. And yeah, essentially, yeah, that's also kind of the thing. It's such a basic things, and a lot of people still don't want to do that work because it feels a little bit hard. It's not that easy. It sounds simple, but it's not that easy because you actually gotta, challenge your comfort zone, take yourself out of the comfort zone, really face the reality. This is who I am now. This is what I'm lacking. This is what I'm good at. And start making a plan what you have to work on and enhance. Okay, and keep scrolling up. You're a winner. I saw your boxing, Brian says. Video, you are a champion. Keep up the great work and your dedication to yourself. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for your words, Brian. I don't think nowadays girls don't like too much supporting and conservative types. They're a bit liberating type and want to support in providing the family. Well, that's what I said. It depends, but I mean, I'm pursuing my boxing, sprinting. I'm working, but I'm self-employed. I don't have a boss and career that I'm following and being yelled by some other man who is just paying me. Not in that sense. I worked in that environment and I resented it, and I decided did my best to get self-employed. So my husband doesn't stop me doing it. Obviously, it's beneficial for us, and also it's very well structured in our case, and it doesn't take that much time from our daily schedule, allowing me to do a lot of other things. So obviously we're living in life that you have a freedom to do that, rather man or woman, if you actually build up things in a smart way. But there is another problem with a lot of women. What they do, they think that, there is this career specifically. I'm not talking about everyone. We have brilliant women doctors in the last 50, 70 years probably after World War II. There are a lot of nurses. There are a lot of hard jobs that women do as well, same as men do. And those people are highly respected, they're highly needed. But also what happened when the industrial period kicked in, the corporations needed a bigger labor. And who else was there? Housewives. They just wanted to add up as the additional labor. So at some point, it's like liberation. Yes, being able to work, obviously get your own credit card, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have went through the period. No, everything that happened for a reason. But also we're facing situation now. A lot of women, and I know personally so many women, they're trying to be boss bitches, they're quite good at the job they do. Sometimes they're not even good at. They're just bossing others around and not, just feeding their egos. But then they're also moaning and crying about that why they cannot find the men they want. And I had conversation. I tried to explain, but maybe the men you want don't want you, because you're working a lot in a very stressful environment. That's not even necessarily that useful. I'm not talking about a medical field where it's about people's lives and health. I'm talking about more a HR and some commercial companies, and they're but I haven't my career. I've managed to build up. Well, it's a kind of a career where it's highly stressful. It's not that necessary for, honestly, let's be honest, it's not that necessary for society. It's just an ego lifting for you. You became very aggressive in your years in being in that field. You like to bossing around everyone, And it's completely fine if it's your lifestyle and you're like, okay, you know what, I'm just fine. I'm gonna stay alone. I'm like, don't need anyone. There are people like that. Actually, my grandma, in those periods, like it's Soviet Union, she divorced twice and she was like, I'm not gonna marry anymore. And she was having a good job for very long. And now she's retired, but she's doing quite well. I mean, yeah, there are some women like this. But when they're choosing that path, but also they want a stronger man who is dominant, but also like it just doesn't work that way. Usually, men they want tend to look for women who are calmer. They're not necessarily without opinion and without brain or intellect. It's just more about peace, And I can really understand that. I wouldn't stand someone bossing me around like that. It's rather man or woman, doesn't matter. Like I wouldn't stand someone moaning, bossing me around, constantly saying that it's not good enough, it's not this and that, and then expecting me to be with them. It's just very tiring. At the end of the day, in the relationships, both men and women, essentially, we need peace. We're talking about long-term, solid family relationship, not just an affair, but like a real relationship with the strong foundations. We need peace. And if you cannot bring that peace, rather whether you're man or woman, you're gonna have certain issues. Especially as a woman, I think it's even more. It can determine your success in relationships. Nowadays, women are changed. If someone say go wrestle with lion or talk to girl, I'll choose first. Well, anyways, guys, just letting you know, a lot of you are from US, and well, as much there in US there are more conservative states, there are more liberal states. It really depends. Like the US is a very big country, but also if you come overseas, for example, like Eastern Europe, especially Georgia, here, like Asia, Southeast Asia, Philippines. Those countries are more, I would say, conservative. Like if we talk about conservative, like conservative women wouldn't ever be dressed like I am right now. That's not conservative in the old school understanding. Having certain conservative values doesn't make you a hardcore conservative. But in some countries, they are more still about marriage, still want to have a good relationship. Women are open about, yes, they want to be able to support themselves, be independent, be able to do some things, but they also want a good man, and they're ready to, do the adjustments if it comes to the good relationship. Maybe try to visit those kind of places in those kind of countries and look for yourself. As a woman, you're being racist against women. At least they're trying. If someone has anger issues, she should have it if they will not work. Well, not, first of all, what is like racist against woman? You're just you're not like in the gaslighting now. It's like a wrong wording. I'm not being racist against anyone. I'm just being realistic. People, I'll tell you how I think about things. To me, it's the positive or negative outcome. At the end of the day, it comes down to the positive or negative outcome. When people have a mismatch with the certain values, like they want this, but they also want that. And I've seen way too many times from even my friends who crave for the relationship. They really want it. They're like, I'm ready to do this and that. And then I see how they deal with it, how they talk with men. It doesn't matter. Even if you don't really respect that man, you gotta practice that politeness, that decency, like being able to control your emotions, No one is perfect. I'm not saying 100% that it's like you gotta be perfect. I'm not saying that. But I think there is a lot of demand, and it just outcome is not that. And I just feel sad for a lot of women who want this and that, and they ask why it doesn't happen. Then they're in the 30s, 40s, and they feel miserable. They feel that they wasted their earlier years, and they feel lost. But that's a mismatch of the values. That's why people become lost. I'm just talking about women because I'm talking about a specific problem with women. I can talk about men too. So please don't call straight away the names or certain things that it's not even been there. If I try to provide a nuanced conversation and just look into the nuances and the key aspects, at least from my perspective, why the things happen the way they happen, it doesn't make me a cliche something. Men want supportive, good men want supportive, loyal women, and good women want supportive, loyal men. Absolutely. I have a very supportive, loyal husband, and I'm absolutely trying my best every day to give that back to him every day. Also, I'm I'm in a very good, very strong relationship that we've been building now for 3 years, more than 3 years, and it's just getting better every day. We're best friends. We are, lovers, best friends. We're family. We're each other's supporters. It's like when you grow into a relationship like that, all this competition about oh yeah, I mean, it's this, you're pressing me, this is that, this is misogyny, all of that kind of stuff is not gonna work. No one wants to be in a relationship where they're being called names like racist and this and that. It just doesn't work that way. Here we're facing the same problem in the USA. Peace, no drama. Yeah, I mean, all for peace, guys. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm not being mean to anyone. I actually never call names. I might say something about BS, about certain opinion, or it's stupid. Even that I do quite rarely, but I never call people, oh, you're being this and that. And what I noticed that one of the major traits of people who get triggered when it comes to making actual points in the conversation. I'm not trying to offend everyone. I'm trying to make a point and share my opinion, my view on the subject. And also, well, there are certain things that it's just a fact, and it's just a matter of analyzing that fact. And when people tend to come in and start calling names, that, oh, you're this, if you're saying this, that's already people you don't want to have a conversation about, because it's just, okay, why are you calling me that? Can you explain? Or because you said this, but I didn't say that. It's just the way how you interpret it. Like we gotta relearn how to agree to disagree, and how to have a decent conversation, respectfully, and establish different points, and actually come down to a certain a common point, and agree on certain things, like key aspects of the issue or a certain fact. Anyways, guys, well, it was actually about failing, but why failing is necessary, that was the main topic, but we moved a little bit towards relationships, talking about relationships. You look cute. Thank you. People that does that is the worst. Don't even let you finish talk. It's hard to control yourself sometimes in those moments, but imagine someone is attacking you and accusing you of saying things that you literally didn't say, but this is the way they heard. But the best way to actually deal with them is just actually just stop saying anything, and they're gonna talk and basically embarrass themselves. Like when it comes to the public conversation, that's the more disrespectful you become and the more emotional, that indicates on your immaturity. So the best thing is just to calm down, just stop saying anything, and at some point they're gonna like, oh, okay, she doesn't even talk. And you just look at them and you say, I finished conversation with you. There's no point. That's it. Like your teeth. Thank you. We're getting good gradually. Yes, I'm hearing it quite a lot. Like cute, beautiful, and I appreciate you guys. I mean, compliments are good for the self-esteem, all that kind of stuff. My husband also tells me a lot of that I'm, not a lot of, but he tells me like real like sometimes he looks at me and he just tells me randomly that I'm very pretty, and that warms my heart. You know what I mean? Like he's not simping or anything like that, but like giving a genuine compliment. I always accept genuine compliments, and I think pretty much a lot of women, up like from the, even like starting from average looking and above, and well, I might not be average looking because of my fitness, my body looks good and stuff like that, and I actually look way better than I used to before. But I'm also not like a, you know, a supermodel looking. I'm not like a even photo model looking. And right now, camera is a good angle and stuff. But as I said, I don't consider myself like a super beautiful. I think my personality, my attitude is something that makes me look better. And as I said, women, from a certain extent, being told that they're cute quite often because just guys do that. They just give a lot of compliments. Are you a gamer? No, I'm not. Yes, how to control our emotions. Well, I would actually start from try to fix your sleep, start training, and start eating well and hydrating. And get some supplements. I'm not even joking. Those like physical adjustments going to help to moderate your body, create the one second. Stabilize your hormonal background in the way how it should work, and then there are practices how to do it. Well, first thing is to try to stop acting on the emotions. It might be hard. Sometimes it's hard for me too. But then when you feel something, don't act on it immediately. I think that's where it's a good spot to start at. And then there is like, try to read some materials about it, psychology, philosophy, look into Stoicism and art of and practice of detachment from your own emotions, meaning you let it feel, you don't block your emotions, you cannot do that, because that's a chemical process in your body actually, and the neurochemical process specifically, but at the same time, you just detach, you just let it flow in the background, you don't act on it, you make a conscious decision what to do after feeling those emotions, those kind of things. But yeah, anyways, guys, I appreciate you all being here in the chat. Okay. I'm subscribing to your channel. Thank you, Brian, very much. I respect and truly appreciate your knowledge. Thank you for your broadcast. Thank you very much, Brian. It's highly appreciated. And thank you for helping me to grow the channel. It's like step by step, every day. Right now I'm consistently streaming a lot because it's part of the plan, just to let my channel grow more. Gradually it's going to be more balance between streaming and some recorded content as well. And yeah, I'm very excited. Just keep doing it. And you guys motivate me to, and make me accountable as well to keep doing it. You look like the White Queens, White Kings. Um, I'm a little bit too short for the Vikings, but I have Slavic roots. I have quite a big chunk of the Slavic roots, and you never know. Maybe might be some Scandinavian too. Never did the genetic tests. My husband is though like a real Viking from Norway. Personality and appearance. Personality always enhances appearance. Like, if you really look at it, guys, personality can enhance an average and even less than average appearance so much to make it attractive and appealing. That's what I believe in. I don't think it's only belief, it's the truth. Getting more physically fit makes everyone so much more attractive. It shows they give a care about their life. Yeah, I mean, both it's visually looks good. Like, there is one of the most beautiful things in nature is a person's fit body. I think that was actually, was it Socrates or Marcus Aurelius? I don't remember, but it was like one of the Greek philosophers saying that, I'm not quoting it, I'm just remembering the sense of this sentence. If you know the sentence, you can quote it in the chat. But basically, a man does not live their life fully if they don't experience the full beauty of their body, meaning that exercising, training what the body can be capable of. It goes both for men and women, and one of the reasons why I'm so much into training and keeping it as my lifestyle is because of that. Personality is more important. It really is. You gotta live with personality. Looks gonna fade. Looks gonna change. There's gonna be like we all peak at some point and then we just go relatively downfall. Though we can maintain it, but you know what I mean. Youth is fading, and then you have a personality. Then you have the values, and yeah, that's what you have. You're a champion. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. It's Marcus Aurelius. Okay, yeah, that's. I couldn't remember exactly who said it. If you want to write down the quote, personality also changes women. I think personality changes everyone. It goes both ways. I also believe that kindness and genuine care and nurturing in the relationship, can make miracles as long as both sides are receptive to it and are willing to put the work in and do the building. Like me and my husband's relationship, if you see us the way we are with each other and also separately to the point we got, it's just beautiful to look because we had our issues, we had our emotional issues and anger issues and everything, and how we helped each other to grow through it and get better and bring the best out of each other in the relationship. That's something that I think men and women should start practicing more in the relationship rather than competing with each other. What do you mean changes? I'm talking about physical changes. I mean, we all get older, we all fade, and the personality, the wisdom, and the values are the things that remain. Nothing stops in life. You just have to flow with life. Yeah, sometimes you have to resist. Sometimes you have to break that flow, but the things that you cannot control, the things that are out of control, you have to flow and submit to it. Whatever life brings, I definitely agree with that. But no, certain things you have to push through. Like a cockroach. Roaches are hardly getting killed. Okay, guys, I'm gonna stay in the chat because I was Korean. Interesting. Guys, I'll stay for 5 more minutes, and if there is more questions, you can ask it now, or if not, we can just. I'm gonna close up the stream, and there's gonna be a karaoke night stream later on, and feel free to join for that one too. It's gonna be quite fun. When you go on relief, I'm not exactly getting what it means. If you're talking about the what I'm going to do another life, it's going to be basically an hour and a half, so it's quite soon. Yeah, next life when? In 1 hour and 30 minutes. That's what we're gonna do the next life. I have another coconut here. So pre-ordered a couple coconuts straight away. But yeah, guys, what do you think? Whoever stayed in the conversation from the very beginning, how did you like it? Was it anyhow valuable for you? Do you want to talk about this kind of topics more, or do you prefer more like a training content and singing content and all that kind of stuff? I'll join you all for karaoke while I ride stationary bike again. Legs were on fire. That's great, Kyla, and I'm happy to see that you're doing more and more exercising and just combining things together. That's one of the good ways to do it. Just do a couple things at a time, and you kill a couple rabbits with the one shot. What are you going to talk about politics in next life? I'm trying to avoid politics. I definitely have my certain political stances, but if we really think about it, at the end of the day, if there's political conflict, if it's war, people dying, whichever country started the war, I mean, like fully aware of those kind of things, but people dying both sides and people being the victims of the different propagandas and basically divided. So, you divide and then you rule. And I resent that. So that's why I'm trying my best not to really delve into political talks here in my live streams. You love Morocco. I've never been to Morocco, but I hope to get there one day. I prefer these topics probably. Well, then we're gonna have some live streams regarding mental health and things how to deal with our minds when things get hard. I always find something valuable to take away from hanging out. You rock. Thank you, Kyla. You're very supportive. Did you just start the stream? No, I'm actually wrapping it up soon. What's your accent? It's Georgian English. I don't know. It's just generic English, but sounds a little bit like an Eastern European accent mixed with something else. not that much in liberative Republican democratic society. Well, one thing I know that humanity, people's tendency is they go from the one extreme, they break it through, and then they go to another extreme. So we didn't get to the point where humanity found how to find the golden line between the values, where it's like the perfect spot for society to keep evolving and keep functioning properly. Because if we, at the end of the day, if we're talking about society, it's about society, not only individual personas. Can you wrestle? I mean, I can probably on amateur level. I did some wrestling and BJJ and stuff, but boxing is like my primary sport. Mental health is huge. Love to talk more on this. Okay, Brian, absolutely, we'll do that. I mean, you get freedom, not like Taliban oppressive society where women get oppressed. Absolutely. You also need to look into, so in the beginning, I'll say a little opinion about that. Obviously, I'm actually not really fan of Abrahamic religions. That's why I have myself own system of beliefs that maybe take some of the values from there, but then I take a lot of other values and ideas from other things that I learned and experienced. But out of those Abrahamic religions, the worst is extreme Islam. And yeah, maybe generally, as I said, I don't really like neither Christianity. As I said, I'm not a follower. But if you look statistically, if you compare, let's say, Kuwait, where we're actually going, me and my husband in the beginning of September, and if you compare Iraq and Syria, for example, you're going to see major difference. And Iran in the poorer areas with the regime. So it has to do with religion as well, but also the quality of life. The richer country per person, per capita, the richer it is, the less I think people are neutral. Like that's what I found out. And there are certain things that just it indicates certain facts, certain statistics just indicate on certain things. And as I said, I'm definitely not the advocate for the burqas and all that kind of stuff. I'm very happy that it started getting banned into Denmark, I think, and some in the Western Europe countries. The reason why I'm happy is because there is a strong fact that you gotta respect the country you're going. Wherever you go, whatever country, with whatever culture. If I go to a Muslim country and I have to dress up more, I mean, I wouldn't go to the countries like where Taliban are and stuff. But like, let's say when I go to Kuwait, even though it's quite open and modern and rich, I probably would have to dress up more, and I will do that because it's their rules. Same if anyone's coming to the Western countries with a Western culture, they can do whatever they want in their homes and like in their communities, but they cannot like just bring their culture and overshadow the country's culture. For some people, that might sound again, they would think that I'm negative and saying that, but I'm just saying certain values, certain facts, that just the way how it works. As your home, if you invite someone to your home, are they supposed to respect your home and your rules or not? Of course they're supposed to, right? Same as you go to their home, you got to respect their rules, and you also have a choice and freedom not to go there if you don't like it, right? Same as them. So if we put that analogy in the countrywide, that's where I'm basing my opinion when it comes to that topic. From Denmark, hi to Denmark. Which country is the biggest Islam population? I mean, well, look at the Middle East, but actually India has the second biggest Islam population. I think 30% or something like that. If they're Indians and can confirm it, I learned that from my Indian friends. That's why I'm saying that. I'm really impressed in your boxing videos. Girl, you can fight. So awesome. Thank you. I love boxing. I'm trying to approach it with the soul. So, trying my best. Where are you from? I'm from Georgia. Indonesia has 200 million Muslims. Yeah, but as I said, I remember like, India is like a 1.4 billion, and 30% I think is like Islam. I didn't know that. As I said, I've been told that by my Indian friends, and well, you can ask AI and Google it up and just see by yourself. There is a scale. Liberative Republicans stand in the middle, not at the edge. As I said, like, yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% aware which parties are there, what, like, you know, they're. What I also noticed is in some countries, more like extreme rightists come in because the left, in some countries, leftists failed. And that is, again, it's bouncing from one extreme to another extreme. But once my friend really told me a very good point, and I think like I liked it quite a lot. He said, you know, like, and he's like active in politics in Georgia, and you know, quite like he's an activist, very smart guy. And he just said, you know, I just Googled once and I saw it was like a liberal conservatism or conservative liberalism. There is actually a real thing. There is like a political stance, or like called that way, meaning that it's somewhere in the middle, not to the right or to the left, but somewhere in the middle. It's a rather liberal conservatism or conservative liberalism. And he said, like, and the values I kind of like read the definition. I read it. He was like, I guess that's what I am. I finally found what I identify myself with. You know, like you found that middle stage. So I guess Israel. I guess I don't know. Anyways, guys. Well, I'm. If you're asking me if I'm Jewish, now I'm Georgian. Florida. Oh, saludos. Hi. Well, I don't speak that much Spanish, but English is welcome. But anyways, guys, I mean, I actually gotta go now, and I'm gonna read one more comment now. My friend, a great technical manager in the aerospace and from Georgia, the nicest person I ever known. She was amazing. Oh, that's cool. So again, technical manager in aerospace. That's interesting. And it was she was Georgian. That's cool. I don't know. Say hi from her from me if you gonna able to talk to her. Say gamar joba. But okay, guys, I really gotta go now. Thank you for joining today's stream. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. We established that you should never ever give up, guys. Just making mistakes is okay. Failing mistakes okay. You gotta learn from those mistakes. Don't make it repetitive. And just, it's better to make mistakes and keep trying, keep moving forward, rather than staying in the comfort zone and then wondering what if could happen if you tried it. So never give up. I wish you all the best, and I want you to enjoy a day or a night, and you can join for a karaoke night basically in an hour and 20 minutes now. So I see you there. Okay. Have a good day and enjoy yourself.